Today we are putting together our quilt sandwich for our heart-to-heart table runner. So let's just first take note of the measurements. So the top, you'll want to measure your table runner, but this one is 14 inches by 40 inches. So for our backing and our batting, we're going to want to add some extra. So if you were doing a quilt, like a regular size quilt, a baby quilt, or a throw quilt, or a quilt for a bed, you would want to add a lot more leeway than this if you were going to take it to a long arm quilter, because they need 4, 5, 6 inches extra on each side. You would want to talk to them to make sure how much they need. But I'm going to do this on my own sewing machine at home, so I'm going to do 2 inches bigger on all sides for my backing and batting, and so this should give me enough wiggle room to do the quilting without having any issues. So for our backing and our batting pieces, since we're going to have 2 inches extra on all sides, the size of these need to be 18 by 44. So we have 14 plus 4 inches is the 18, and then 40 plus 4 inches is the 44. So we'll start with the backing here. So this is my backing piece. Now I want to make sure that I place it so that the right side of the fabric is facing down. I'm just going to place it here, smooth it all out. You won't see the full thing in the camera view, but you'll get the idea. Next, I'm going to take my batting piece and I will place it on top of the backing, and I'm just going to line it up. These are the same size or pretty close. I mean, if you're off a little bit, it's okay because you are going to cut off the extra. But I'm just going to line it up and make sure it's all smooth, the back and the batting. Just lay it out and make sure it's all smooth like this. Then I'm going to take my table runner top and I'm going to place it on, and I'm going to leave about a 2-inch gap on each side, on this other side as well that you can't see. But you're just going to want to make sure that you have an overlap on from the backing and the batting on each side. And I'm just going to smooth this out. Okay, so then I'm going to take my pins and I'm going to pin this together. So these pins here, these are basting pins. So you can tell they have this little curved edge. And this just helps you when you're pinning them down. You can stick it down in and it just kind of lifts itself back up. So you don't have to wiggle around the fabric too much as you're doing it. If you use regular safety pins, you can, but it will be a little bit harder to get that other end to come back up out of the fabric. So I'm just going to pin this. I'm just starting here kind of in this middle line here. And I'm just going to pin every so often. So I'm going to kind of get the edges here so it kind of stays in place, and then just put some random pins . So as you can see, I'm just kind of sticking them in randomly. I'm just trying to make sure that it's secured down. I will slide down the piece and then we'll fix our end here that was jumbled from the tripod. And we'll just continue and pin. I don't have very many pins right now because I'm using them on another quilt. So I would probably pin this a little tighter than this than I'm going to be able to, because I don't have that many pins. But this is a small project, so it should be okay. There are other ways to baste your quilt. You can use some adhesive spray. I have tried that. It works okay. It is kind of messy. And I don't have any. I don't really keep it in stock, so. So that's another option, but I just have a few more pins here. I'm just going to try to get the edges here. Like I said, I would do more pins than this if I had more at my disposal right now, but we're just going to go this should be fine, because it's a small quilt, like I said. So you can see I don't have very many on this. This is more like I would recommend doing it with the pins a little bit more often. Okay, so now we have our quilt sandwich made. So we can take this over to our sewing machine and quilt it.